Good morning, everyone. This is Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. Welcome to my channel. Hey, we got the Optibike Argon in the rotation today, so we're going to take it, I don't know, 10 to 12 miles probably, somewhere in that range. Be going a different direction today so you guys can see some newer scenery. But yeah, I want to thank Optibike for sending this bike to me to review. It is a great bike. I've already ridden this bike about 50 miles. Actually, it may be 70 miles now that I think about it. I looked the odometer earlier this morning, and I've got a review or two out on this bike already. But yeah, it's a, without a doubt, it's a great commuter bike. This bike only weighs 37 pounds. That's incredible for an e-bike. So you could carry this thing up to an apartment on the second floor or whatever that you need to do. And yeah, we're going to hop across the road here and get up on the sidewalk here, which we're legal to ride here in Ohio on certain sidewalks. So yeah, I'm going to take this to a local city park we have, and then we'll do a review on it, get off the bike and talk about it a little bit. But I wanted to do pedal assist levels right now. This bike will do 20 miles an hour. And again, it's got no gears. This bike is belt driven. As you can see, it's got your thumb throttle down here, and they really uniquely designed that throttle down there. Now, this throttle's not responsive like you're used to on other e-bikes, but it does get you where you need to go from a stop. I believe this has got a pedalic torque sensor on it as well. So yeah, we're going to come to a stop here. We're going to start out in pedal assist 1 and go through the pedal assist levels and see what we where the bike likes to be at from a level standpoint. So we're going to jump back down to pedal assist 1, and we're not going to use the torque at all. We're just going to pedal, and let's just kind of see where this bike likes to be. It seems to be about 8 miles an hour is where pedal assist 1 wants to stay at, and it's fairly comfortable riding and pedaling at this speed. Now we'll bump it up to pedal assist 2. And that seems to be around 10 to 11 mile an hour. Pedal assist 3. Seems to want to be at about 12 to 13 mile an hour. Pedal assist 4. We're going down a slide incline here, so I'm going to take into account for that. It seems to be about 15 mile an hour is where it likes to stay at on pedal assist 4. And then when you bump it up to pedal assist 5, that's going to get you around 20 mile an hour. And I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into these pedals, but I have to do some pressure for the torque sensor to know where my energy is on the pedals. So yeah, I'm in pedal assist 5, and it's probably going to want to stay at about 18 to 20 mile an hour. About 20 mile an hour is where I'm at. My Strava app is maybe a little more accurate than the bike, but 20 mile an hour seems to be where that wants to be. So yeah, let me go ahead and cross the intersection here. Watch for cars here, of course. It's going to get pretty hot here in Southwest Ohio this afternoon. We hit about 90 yesterday, and we're going to go a little more today, probably 93, 94. So I certainly wanted to get out and ride earlier this morning before it gets really hot. Kind of an overcast day today, so it's good for filming. But yeah, I want to thank Optibike for sending this bike to me to review. And they really wanted me to review this bike for seniors. Somebody with somewhat disabilities where they can still get over a bike. But this bike is so light, it's so easy to actually maneuver this bike to get over it. And I'll be 72 in November. So yeah, from a comfort standpoint, this bike certainly hits the mark. I did change out the seat on this bike. I wanted to go to a little more comfortable seat, so I did change that out. But yeah, as far as nimbleness, I mean, I'll show you up here how nimble this bike is. Again, it's got smaller tires. I think the tire size on this one is 700, I think, by 32, but I can't remember the other number. But yeah, as far as nimbleness goes, I mean, this bike is very responsive and nimble, as you can see, just making these cuts on the trail, or shall I say on the sidewalk. We'll be on a trail once we get up here a little bit. We got a combination of mostly sidewalk and road, then we got the little trail we got to get over to where we're heading. So you talk about quietness, you can't hear this motor at all. It purrs like a kitten. It's got a 500 watt rear hub motor on it. And again, it's got a pedaling torque sensor. But I'll tell you, I'm in pedal assist 5, and I'm comfortably doing 14 to 15 mile an hour without actually putting too much pressure into the pedals at all. I did put a stem riser on this bike when I got it because it was somewhat of a reach for me to get to the handlebars. So I put a stem riser on there, and I still had plenty of room for the wire management, so I didn't pinch any of that. And yeah, I think I hit the sweet spot as far as where I'm comfortable at. Yeah, if I just really want to get out and cruise a little bit around the city or the neighborhood, this is my bike. it has definitely become one of my favorite road bikes. I have reviewed several e-bikes this year, probably 10 to 12 e-bikes. And again, I want to thank all the manufacturers for sending me those bikes to review. We're going to get on the trail right here. Braking is extremely good on this bike. It's got hydraulic brakes. I believe the rotors are 160, but they could be 180 millimeter. I'll have to double check that to be sure. This bike also does not have any suspension, but you would not know it because it takes these bumps really well. The bike also has carbon fiber front forks, which is going to reduce the weight of the bike for sure. Nice little bell. I did add a couple bar end mirrors on it because I really want to see what's behind me. So I did add that to the bike. But as you can see, it's very nimble going around these turns. But yeah, I'll have a link on the bike on everything about it, and to the manufacturer's website. I'll have a link to that down in my description box. And of course, the couple accessories that I did put on this bike, I'll put that down in the description box as well if you guys want to purchase that stuff. And we really appreciate you guys when you will visit our channel to buy e-bikes or merchandise, because we get a slight commission on that. But it also helps to support the channel as well. Excuse me. We got a slight breeze today, but I'll tell you, this bike just seems to motor right through it. We've come almost 3 miles now, and it's been very comfortable to ride this bike. But yeah, you put any pressure at all into them pedals, you're going to climb pretty quick on the speed. I mean, I got up to almost 20 miles an hour pretty quick in a short distance. But as you can see, you cannot hear that motor. And I love the belt drive on e-bikes. I wish more manufacturers, especially for seniors, would just come out and make e-bikes with just being belt driven. The less moving mechanical parts on a bike, the less trouble you're going to have on it. This bike is very simplistic, and it's definitely a minimalist bike. They kept those folks in mind as far as a e-bike. This company is out of Colorado. I believe these e-bikes are manufactured in Taiwan and not in China, which is a little bit different. But yeah, just when I come to a stop and step off this bike to the ground, it's very simple because it is so lightweight. I mean, when I first got this bike, I was a little, excuse me, hesitant on the bike itself because it's got a smaller motor at 500. And I had never owned a belt-driven bike as well, so that was different. But I'll tell you, as I mentioned, the older you get, the less you want on a bike as far as moving parts. Because we're not as agile as we used to be. Now, this bike has a 37-volt battery that's it's built into the frame. The battery does not come out. It does at the bottom if you take the bolts out, but this is not a battery that you want to take out and charge. You can anyway, but it actually has a pretty quick charge time. I think I went down, down to 2 bars the other day on a ride, and it only took me about 4 hours to charge this bike. Now, you got to remember, I'm 225 pounds. So are you going to get 50 miles like they advertise on the website? No. I would probably get between 30 and 35, I think, is a more realistic number. And you'll see that on all bike companies. They always put a high number on there to get you to buy the bike, obviously. But you're not going to get that bike and to a 50-mile range unless you're in pedal assist 1. You weigh about 120 pounds and you're not using the throttle at all. Then I'll say you might get 50, but I look to only get about 35 on this bike on a full charge. This is actually considered a class 1 or a class 2 e-bike. Since it's got a throttle, it's a class 2. But yeah, we're going to stop right up here and we're going to talk about this bike a little bit. Try to get out of the sun a little bit. You guys can see a little bit of the pond and everything we have here. Great little park here. This pond's been here, well, it didn't look like this when I grew up. When I was 9-10 years old, I used to fish here. We used to sneak in on that back side over there to fish. But now it's a city park and they did a really nice job. This is where they do their fireworks, City of Kettering on 4th of July. They got a great fireworks display here. So yeah, we're gonna get off the bike right here and we're gonna talk about this a little bit. As I mentioned, very easy to get off this bike because it's so light. So anyway, get my phone off here and set my coffee down over there. And then we're going to talk about this bike a little bit. Let me get to my facts here so I don't mess this up. Okay, we're going to talk about, first of all, the basics. The top speed on this is 20 miles an hour. And it says 50 miles on the range. Again, They're showing a person 160 pounds riding with pedals to get 50 miles. That's probably about right if you're down in pedal assist 1. It's got 5 power levels of pedal assist, and I'll show you where that is over here. Here's all your pedal assist. I've come 3.7 miles so far, and your pedal assist will go all the way down to 0. And it's easy to ride this bike if you drain your battery. I've noticed that it's very easy to ride this bike. It's like riding a 10-speed. And then again, you got pedal assist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I already went through the speed at each pedal assist level that we were doing. And yeah, it's also got a 500 watt motor on here. It's a continuous super silent hub motor, and I will attest to that. It's very quiet. And the battery again sits down here in the frame. And yeah, I don't see any need to have a battery that comes off this bike. Not as simplistic as this bike is. Now on these front forks, these are carbon fiber front forks, and I really like that. I think this has got 160 millimeter rotors, and it's also got tires that are 700 by 38 size. And again, the weight of the bike is 37 pounds. Now this says on the frame type, it's a 20-inch aluminum road frame. Now 20 inches is usually going to bring you back down into here somewhere. So, but it is very easy to get over the bike. So yeah, that's just a couple of facts about the bike. And of course, again, it's got hydraulic brakes on it, Shimano, very good brake system. They did a very nice job on the wire management. It actually just coils down into here into your frame, and of course one goes to your front brake. So they did a very good job on that. And again, as I mentioned, all the wiring on this bike actually goes down into the frame and then comes back out to the rear to get to your motor and your brakes and things of that nature. But yeah, I think overall I would highly recommend this bike. The price point on this bike is $27.95 plus tax. People's going to say that's awful high for an e-bike. Not when you're speaking of quality. I can tell you riding this e-bike is the easiest ride that I have. I have no problem getting on or off the bike. I have no problem moving around at 20 mile an hour is fast enough on an e-bike. A lot of people just want speed. They'll get bikes 30, 40 mile an hour. That's not what this bike is about. Again, it's simplistic, and it's also for the minimalist. And look at this belt drive. I love that design on this bike. No gears to shift through, which I never shift through gears anyway. I pretty much stay in 7th gear when I'm riding, so I don't see that an issue at all. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this bike. Let me get my camera off here for a second. Actually, we're just going to leave where it's at. Let me know what you think. It's a great bike. Again, I want to thank Optibike for sending this bike to me. The one other thing I want to show you I did add, besides my cup holder, my little bag here, phone mount, I put an alarm on this thing, and I'm going to show you how this works. As you can see it down here, I set the alarm right there. You'll hear one more beep. And then if you go to move this bike, I'll show you what it does. That's your warning to let you know that you're moving it. And there's what it does. So yeah, is it going to stop somebody from stealing the bike? Probably not. but it's sure going to slow them down for sure. But anyway, that's about all I want to talk about today. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching my channel and subscribing to my channel. And yeah, hit the share and like. Hit the subscribe button down there if you have not subscribed. Hit the bell notification for any future videos. Excuse me. I normally put a video out every day at 3 p.m. So I'm just reviewing different bikes every day. So yeah, again, share and like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. I will see you guys on the next video.